Hello and good day. This is Punchline, and we are First News Nation. On Punchline, we discuss national politics. I am Sammy Ajufo. Thanks for joining us. Remember to join us on all our social media handles: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as YouTube, as you see on the screen. Enable notifications like you see here on all our platforms at First News Nation or News Nation FM, so you could get latest updates on all our shows. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's go for a break. When we get back, we talk about the refineries in Nigeria to sell or to fix. Which one? We'll be right back. You're welcome back. It's still Punchline, and we are First News Nation. I am still Sammy Ajufo. Let's talk straight about the refineries. Nigeria has refineries in Warri, has in Kaduna, has in Port Harcourt as well. The refineries in Nigeria have been moribund for a long time. Clamor by many Nigerians is to fix the refineries. I remember at one point, President Obasanjo sold off the refineries, and then the late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua revoked his sale, and from then till now, Nigeria has continually suffered. Do we sell the refineries or do we fix it? Every time the NNPC comes around and say they are going to spend money on the turnaround maintenance, what has materialized from that? Nigeria still has a lot of crude oil, and yet we export this crude oil. It was celebrated when Dangote was about to commission his refinery. In fact, it was commissioned. But yet we still hear that there are some issues that need to be resolved, and the full operations will not commence till sometime, probably end of this year or next year. Well, that was disappointing to a lot of people, because from the layman's point of view, Dangote's refinery was going to save the day, like PJ Masks will say. But that was not meant to be. Now, the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress have said that one of the demands they have from the Tinubu government is to fix the refineries so it can work better and we have local consumption. Well, the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, has come out to say we should never think about fixing the refineries. We should rather think about selling the refineries. We should not think about fixing it. There is no gain in fixing it. We are going to lose more by fixing refineries. It's better we sell the refineries off. He claimed that the National Assembly had disclosed that Nigeria has spent, listen to this, 10 trillion naira, 10 trillion naira on maintaining the refineries, and the refineries don't work. 10 trillion naira. 1 trillion naira is 500 billion naira in two places. 500 billion naira in two places. So do the math. I don't like mathematics. 500 billion naira is how much? Is what President Tinubu had to borrow so that they will pay 315 billion to workers for just 6 months. So if 10 trillion has been spent so far to fix the refineries and they don't work, why are we still trying to fix things that don't work? And why are we still fixing refineries in the 21st century? Isn't it better we sell off the refineries to private interests who will take it up and have a good regulatory system and create an industry where the regulators are able to regulate this? Of course, we now have modular refineries here and there. Who is going to regulate them? Is it the NNPC, or we're going to have a new agency to regulate the modular refineries? Why can't we sell off the refineries? Why are we spending 10 trillion unaccounted for? No one is going to go and ask for a probe into that. We have not heard about any probe. So Oyedele is saying that rather than pray that we fix the refineries, it's better we sell it off. He said that the refineries, if they even will work, the major problem we are going to face is inefficiency in management, making Nigeria buy petrol for 1 liter, the most expensive petrol to be sold in the world. that if we ever fix the refinery, the problem will be inefficiency in management. Let's forget about overheads. And I agree in 200%. We have no business running business. I'm talking about, when we say we, I mean the federal government. He has no business running business. Which government agency has run any business enterprise well? None. So bad that President Obasanjo had to take over from NITEL and deregulate the telecom sector. It's so bad that President Goodluck Jonathan had to come in and deregulate the power sector. Why can't we deregulate the oil sector? Why can't we deregulate the downstream and the upstream sector? This is what has been happening. The Petroleum Industry Act has in line fallow. Why don't you just sell off the refineries? What are we keeping it for? Sell it off, and people should maintain it, or sell it for scrap. After all, we've been refining our fuel outside, our crude oil. So he said that, and yes, if you refine it, if you fix it, will you fix and sell, or you fix and maintain? There's nothing in this country that has worked well under the hands of the federal government, especially when it's a business enterprise. Look at all our airports. We had to have a build, operate, and transfer agreement for MMA in Lagos, Muritala Mohammed International Airport, for it to work. So it is better we sell off the refineries to people who will be able to manage it, people who will put their money down, just like we've done in the power sector. Yeah, even the power sector have issues, but it's not as bad as it used to be when we were NEPA. So I agree with him. We should sell them off rather than operate them. Nigeria should sell them off. Just the same way we've sold off other things and they seem to have some head on their shoulders. Let's do the same thing for the refineries. And let's end this conversation about fixing the refineries. 10 trillion has been spent in turnaround maintenance. And the NNPC says they will put in $100 worth of for per barrel, and they're only able to get $97 out. So we're making serious losses. And I agree with the man. President Tinubu should take the bull by the horn. I remember when Atiku Abubakar, when he was contesting for president, and he was asked what is he going to do with the refinery, he said he's going to sell it to his friends. And if his friends could run it, then it's better. I remember when President Obasanjo sold the refineries, men like Aliko Dangote had bought refineries. But then the late President Yar'Adua, in his wisdom, revoked the sale of those refineries. Maybe we would have been in a much better place today. So I think it's best to sell off the refineries. There's no point keeping things and all the 10 trillion. 10 trillion. How much is our budget? How much is our budget? So who is putting money in the refineries? We have the Eleme, we have the Warri, we have the Kaduna refineries. How is this working? And it begs the question of how monies are being put into stuff that don't work. And it's time for the country to actually take it serious. And let's see some probes. Let's see some heads roll. I dare anyone in government. Let's see some heads roll. How we spend 10 trillion? NNPC, someone needs to answer. If you have any comments about that, please drop it in the comment section below. Thank you for joining us on Punchline here on First News Nation. I am still Sammy Ajufo. It's always a pleasure having you join us on these conversations. And you could listen to this conversation on our online radio. It's News Nation FM, News Nation FM. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again unfailingly on the next episode of this show, where we discuss something political as well. As much as you can, do your best to stay safe.